Subscribe to my channel for more powerful stories like this. Never in my wildest imagination did I think I'd become the kind of man who'd trail his wife just to uncover hidden truths. But lately Laura's endless late nights at work had stirred a deep unease I couldn't ignore. Over the past few weeks, she had grown strangely distant, avoiding eye contact, brushing off my attempts to talk, and guarding her phone as if it contained classified information. At first, I tried to silence my doubts, convincing myself that I was reading too much into things. After all, a marriage that had lasted 12 long years couldn't just crumble overnight, right? But that nagging instinct inside me refused to be silenced. It clawed at my thoughts until I had no choice but to face it. So one Friday evening, instead of heading home, I drove toward the part of town where her coworkers usually gathered for drinks. My heart sank when I saw her car parked outside a dimly lit bar. My pulse quickened. Every breath felt heavier as I stepped out of the car. I tried to reassure myself. Maybe she was simply catching up with colleagues. Maybe I was being paranoid. But somewhere deep inside, a quiet part of me already knew the truth long before I even opened that tavern door. The moment I stepped inside, I saw her. She wasn't surrounded by coworkers, nor did she look tired from a long day at the office. Instead, she was seated across from a man I didn't recognize, laughing radiant, her hand resting lightly on his arm. It was a kind of laughter I hadn't heard from her in years, paired with a smile I once believed was mine alone. My legs felt like stone, my throat ran dry, but I forced myself to watch, long enough to make sure there was no mistake. Then I moved closer, slow and steady. She didn't notice me at first, too wrapped up in their little world. When her eyes finally met mine, her face drained of color, her laughter dying mid-breath. The man beside her shifted uneasily, sensing something was wrong, but I didn't look his way. My focus was only on her. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. That part of me was gone. Instead, I reached for my left hand and gently slid off my wedding ring. The same ring I'd worn faithfully for more than a decade. Once it symbolized our love, our promises, our family. But now it was just a hollow piece of metal. I placed it quietly on the table between us. Her trembling fingers reached out instinctively, but I pulled my hand back before she could touch it. The world around us seemed to fall silent, the music, the chatter, everything, fading into nothing. Her voice shook as she whispered, "Please wait." Her eyes searched mine, desperate for forgiveness, but there was none left to find. For 12 years I had given her everything, my time, my trust, my love. And she had chosen to give her warmth and affection to someone else. I glanced at the man beside her. He looked down, ashamed. But I had no anger for him. He wasn't the one who had promised to love me forever. She was. As I stood there, I realized I wasn't just leaving her. I was letting go of the version of myself who had trusted blindly, who had ignored the warning signs, who still believed our marriage had meaning. That man was gone. And in his place stood someone new. Someone who finally understood his worth and refused to be a backup in his own story. Her voice cracked as she called my name, desperate and broken. But I didn't stop. I turned and walked out, leaving her and her companion behind amid the wreckage of what she'd destroyed. I didn't need to speak. My silence said everything. When I stepped into the cool night air, an unexpected calm washed over me. For the first time in months, my heart was quiet, free from confusion, free from pain. The weight of her betrayal had lifted, replaced by the clarity of truth. The road ahead might be lonely, but it was mine to walk. And unlike her, I would never betray myself again.